Well, hello, and we are now live. Welcome to today's show, which will be how to find really good expired domain names, which will be interesting because I'm going to show you some of the good stuff and some of the stuff that's been around before, but some new stuff, I believe, as well. So if you're there, please say hello or in the comments, just so I know you're there. Today's show is the usual, the art of the name. You can find our group and join us. It's a private group for learning about domains and websites, hosting, revenue, lead gen sites, and all kinds of cool stuff. There is no charge for anything, but we have a lot of fun sharing. And sometimes we have these rooms that we just open up and chat about anything and everything, and people can ask all the questions they want. Again, the link below is how you get in, facebook.com/groups/the art of the name. And that's that. I'll put it up a little bit later in the show. Let's see, we've got some comments. There you go. We got a couple people already there. Hi, Alistair. Okay, so without further ado, we will talk about quite a few ways to find drops and expired names that actually have value and have traffic. So that's one of the first things we're going to look at. You can do it the long way. You can go through GoDaddy, you can go through Snap Names, you can go through Sado or Namejet or Name.com or Flip or whoever you want, and you can look for names that way. But the goal is to actually find names that actually have traffic that we can actually do something with now. So how do we find those names, and how do we vent them, and how do we do all kinds of cool things with them, and how do we profit from them? And then once you have those names, basically there's three things you can do with them. One is you can direct the domain to another site that may be related, that you just want to increase traffic for similar products or services. You can also set up a microsite, which is basically a site that you would have created based on maybe the site used to be something to do with landscaping, and now you've got want to build a landscaping site because you picked up the domain name. It's got great traffic and good backlinks, so you want to set that up. And the third thing you can do, which is not always recommended, but you can use archive.org to go ahead and see what the site was, and you can rebuild the actual site that was there or something very similar to it. Chances are if they've dropped it, you won't have a problem, but I would still be a little bit careful. Make sure there's no outstanding or current trademarks, and make sure that they really don't want the site back before you do something like that. We have a lot of cool announcements of new tools and stuff we're going to be doing later on. And I'm going to start to show you some stuff now. Anybody have any questions before we get started? Let's see. Let me make a new banner. This is live. There you go. Any questions? Not yet before we start, I guess. Okay. So we've covered what you can do with a domain when you get it. The other thing somebody asked was in our group was if you're going to use a redirect to redirect it, you always use a 301 redirect. And that way it will let them know that the traffic is permanently redirected, and it will start to index it the other way. Now let's share some screens and let's have some fun. So if you want to do it the hard way, again, go back to GoDaddy, Snap Names, wherever. Just look through their list, pick out terms that you like, and go. If you want to do it the easy way, you can use FreshDrop, or you can use DomCop, or you can use a couple other sites and services that I'm going to show you now. So here's our group. Oh, I haven't shared yet. Live TV, gotta love it. Share screen, and we will share an application window, and now you should be able to see us. Not like that though. Let me get off this one, and there we are. That should be better for you guys. So I'll pull this one out separately so I can see what's going on. And there we go. So this is our current screen where the group is. We have 62 members. Really great conversations, really cool stuff, and I really enjoy the intelligence of the group. People at every level, so feel free to drop in and ask to join. When you're looking at domain names, there's a couple cool things. One, you can look at a tool called expireddomains.net, or use some of the other sites that I mentioned, like Freshnet. But what are you looking for? So you get in here, these are the deleted domains, what's deleted in the last 7 days. There's all kinds of numbers and all kinds of stats. Now, what really matters? And that's a really good question, is what does really matter? So, hey, Joseph, saying hello. So if you're looking for your links, you're looking for possible columns. So here we look at some of the names, number of characters in the domain name. So you can sort it here if you want short domains, majestic links. And again, there's some good ways to look at it. That's a Wayback Machine when it's it's there, the year of the birth of the domain, and then you can look at Alexa ranking, which I don't really look at anymore. Majestic Millions, see if it's indexed in DMOZ, how many registrations or TLDs have the same domain name, the date it's added, and you can just basically go across all of the columns. But for me, I like to look basically at, and I may have to open this up big to see, A, when it's dropped, and B, how many links does it actually have inside of here. So I'm going to give you some new things to look at besides this, and we'll come back to this in a second. How many of you have ever used archive.org in the past and know what it's used for? Anybody? So what would you use archive.org for previously? I'll let you guys think about that. So what I would do a lot of times is I would go here and I would look up a site that may have been here before. I'm just going to look up one of my old sites. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it was one of my first sites was highimpactsites.com. So I'm just going to look at it and see what's there. I did let the domain drop. What it does is it searches and it gives you all the results from when it started, which is probably here in 2002 with me, to see what the original site looked like. And then you can go ahead and take a look and click and see what was there over the years as it was growing. You can see it looks like I put it up April the 3rd, so I can click this and see what it looked like back then. That's what the original site looked like pretty much. It was a kind of a shoddy site back for 2002. This was like a pretty good high-end website. We had logo design, web design, stuff like that. Not pushing this or anything, but it's just interesting for me to, when I actually pick a site and actually look back, it's kind of neat. Anyway, let's go back to something a little more important. Let's go back to, let's say, 2020, where it's probably a park page. And that's one of the uses, by the way, that you can use for archive.org is just to see what a site, yeah, I owned all these sites. Dealer Details, I own jerks.com. I think I mentioned that in a previous thread. I own SatDocs, Expired. Traffic Toad was a site. Domain Goblin was my first domain registrar. There was actually a registrar that I own, and this is Incorp Canada to do incorporations. So brings back memories. I think I probably got rid of most of those sites. But anyway, that's not why I brought you here. So let's go back to our original site, archive.org, so I can show you some really cool stuff that you probably didn't see or haven't seen yet about archive.org. And then we're going to run through some tools and see how it's going. I'm just going to check back and see if anybody has any questions. Excellent. We're getting some comments. Yes, yes, yes. Yes from Zach. Yes from Alistair. Want to become famous? Yeah, that's just the spam thing. Ignore that. Looking for the age of the domain name. Checking for history of the name used. Sometimes client wants old versions of content. Other web devs. Yeah, so you're using it for most of the same stuff that I used to use it for, but there's a little known use of it that's actually really important for finding expired domains. So let's play around with that and let's teach you something new. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit for you, make it a little bit easier. Let's say we want to find something like, let's see, what's a good service? Let's try criminal lawyer. So let's look up criminal lawyers. And instead of actually typing in a site, we're just going to pop in the keyword. And we're going to put it surrounded by quotation marks, and we're going to hit enter. And then what happens is you get a unique list of sites that have all been built in the Wayback Machine that all have sites and links that were here at one time and may or may not be expired by now, but have great link traffic. Tell me or not if you like this, and this is cool. I'll let you post while I continue to go through this, and then I'll look at it. But you can see you've got a huge amount of sites here, right? So you can decide how many you want to see, and they go back to 2013, 2016. If I want to see 100 of them, I'll select 100. I can do 500. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste all this. And I'm going to stop at this one. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to throw it into another tool called the Domain Name Extractor. I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to have it automatically go through here and remove all the junk that's not domain names. It's going to find domain names. And then this is the list of domain names it found that are actually indexed and ready to go in Wayback Machine. They're already there. So these are the names it pulled out from all that junk. Now, what am I going to go next? Next, I'm probably going to go over to GoDaddy. GoDaddy, anybody really, bulk register. And I'm going to see what's available. So let's go to GoDaddy, domain checker. No, let's just go to GoDaddy, see what they tell us here. I'm going to list all these domains that I just found that are indexed under those keywords that I want. and there's 50 domains here, and I'm going to search and see what's available today. What is interesting is look at all these that are available, and look, they're available for 99 cents. There's no premiums in here. There's nothing in here. So now what I want is I want to take all these domain names and start doing some research on them and see which ones have really good backlinks and things like that. So for this, I'm going to have to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to share another tool with you so we can take a look and go on to the next step. Are you enjoying this so far? So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go back to this window. You can ask any questions if you want. And if not, I'm just going to open up the next window, and I'm going to share my screen with what we're going to do to check these domain names. So let's go back to sharing. Sharing is Karen. So now I'm going to share my screen. It's going to be a different window, and you're going to go, wow, what is he doing now? So now I'm sharing this window with you. Now I have to go pull it up myself so I can actually see what's going on. This is a program called Domain Detailer, DOM Detailer. What I'm going to do is, this program is 29 bucks, by the way. I registered before this. I'm just going to copy and paste those domains in. But first, I'm going to clean those up a bit because I don't need the GoDaddy prices. So what we've done is we've taken these and we've replaced them. We've replaced all the domain names with what we wanted out of the list that were available. Now I'm killing most of these, and I'm just going to delete some of these spaces just quickly. You'll do this on your own, however you want. And then we're going to check and see if any of these domain names have any real expired traffic that we want, because we know they're all indexed multiple times in archive.org, which gives us instant traffic. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see if any of these have any value. And let's check. So I've done eliminating the spaces. I'm sure there's an easier way I can do this. I'll copy these names. You can't see what I'm doing, so it doesn't matter. I will put these in here, delete all this crap, and then watch what happens. If I can get all this stuff out of here. Done. There you go. And now it will, I'll hit add to text box. And now it's going to go find, should go find the stats on these domains. And there it goes. So now it's looking, it's going to tell me some things that are really important to somebody like me. So some of the stuff that I would be looking at is, and I'm just organizing my screen so I can see it all. So one of the things I'm looking for is, let's let this finish, and we'll take a look at this a little bit bigger, see what we have here. It's still going. I'm going to make it a little bit wider so you guys can see, and if it needs to be bigger, we'll do something. But so what it's looking up is looking up every one of these things, from Moz links to page authority to domain authority and so on, and it's going to tell us what has value. Right now, ArkansasCriminalLawyers.net, and it's still pulling up information, has some good value. It's got some good links. And then what am I looking at for this tool? So in this tool, what I'm looking at is, how is the Majestic rankings? How is the backlinks? And then also, and if there's any Facebook shares or Facebook comments, it'll give me some information about that. And then basically you just keep repeating and re-rinsing the process. So for this, you need, obviously, this is amazing. The other thing is a GoDaddy plugin, which I'll show you in a sec, plugin. And then you can also do keyword relations and go see what it's got and what keywords that it could be going to and things like that. But it's a pretty good way to find good domains like Arkansas Criminal Lawyer that have good backlinks, have a great page authority probably being the most important thing here, a good domain authority. And this is probably one that I would think about back ordering, because you'll get some traffic, and then you just need to either erect a mini site, use the traffic, do lead generation, whatever you want to do, but you're going to get some good traffic even if you put this on an AdSense page. Also, the older the domain name is, the more chances are it'll get indexed in the first couple of weeks very quickly. So that's another thing that you can do. So I'm going to stop sharing this. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And then I'm going to share a screen with you that will tell you some of the stuff that you need to also look for when you're looking at for different things. So here's a list. I'm going to post the list of all the stuff I just used, so you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to share that right now. And it's basically going to give you all the tools and the links that I used, so you can decide what you want to do. You can now see it. So here is a summary of what I used. Data source can be the Wayback Machine, or another tool I'm going to show you in a minute called Leads Detective. And then you can use it by category or niche, which I'm going to show you another tool. That's the plugin to do the domain extractor, where I cleaned the list. This is where you check the GoDaddy availability checker. This is one of the tools like Domain Detailer that I showed you before. And here it says what you're looking for. You can take a screenshot of this screen, or I can post it in the group when we're done. And then you can also go to Ubersuggest, which is a tool by Neil Patel. It's got a free version with some free stuff, and you can check there, again, how many backlinks and what the metrics are and how many anchor tags. So I hope that helps. Has this been good so far? Everybody okay? Any questions, concerns, anything before we take a look at some other cool stuff? I'm going to go back to our other screens while you guys answer that. So you know now how to find these domains. You know how to clean the lists. And now you know how to use the Wayback Machine in a completely different way, which is interesting. Now I'm going to show you another tool, which is pretty cool. There's two of them. First is Spamzilla, which I'll now share with you. Let me get rid of those questions because I don't think we have any questions. Speed writing. Don't worry, you can. Problem is I talk so fast because I want to get through all the columns, but Alistair, don't worry. We'll have this available, and then there's plenty of time for questions at the end. So don't worry about that. Let me get rid of the questions banner. We'll go back to this, and now we'll go back to share our screen. Here's a tool that shows you most of these things in itself. It's pretty interesting, and it looks complicated at the beginning, but it's not. So this is called Spamzilla. And what this does is, this is another cheap tool for like 20 to 30 bucks, maybe even less. And then what it does is it gives you a list of all the domain names, the source of where they're dropping. It gives you the Majestic trust flow. It gives you the citations flow. It also gives you the Majestic stuff that you need. And most importantly for this one, it gives you the Majestic topical trust flow. So what's important about this is when you're looking for a domain with backlinks, and I'll show you how to do it in a second, you want to, and it also gives you, by the way, all the Ahrefs stuff that you guys have been asking for throughout the thing, the rating, the referring domains, and the backlinks. So this tells you how many backlinks a domain has. So this is a pretty good tool. And I think it was about 20, 30 bucks. And then it tells you what price and if it's expiring or when it's expired, or if it's even available already, you can see some of those. But these numbers here will tell you what kind of a backlink it is. So this is shopping related. This is shopping and crafts. Again, shopping, shopping, shopping. And we can take a look and we can see, if we want to see specifically what's in some of these things, we can do that. Another thing that's important is this SZ score, Spamzilla score, and it clicks and it'll open you and show you the data. So I can click this and then it'll load and I'll be able to see screenshots of what the site used to be. So this was a site about whatever Kratom is, I don't know. It's always been about Kratom. This is when they got it, I guess, at GoDaddy. And then it's gone back to this, which is where it was last time. So it can tell you if it was a legitimate site or what it was. It tells you how active it is. It's been around for 6 years. It's never been a park page. It's always been English business. It didn't pass the spam stuff, so you probably don't want to think about grabbing it for that. So you don't want to get a domain that's been spammed or had anything spam related about it. This one at GoDaddy, good backlinks, nothing on the score. We can check this one as well, Kabashop. And you basically have to check and see what each one is, and you can research. And this one looks like some sort of sex thing, so we'll pass on this one unless you're looking for sex traffic. It's Thai. It tells you the language it's in, and it tells you it's been redirected 15 times. A lot of redirects. So again, not something you probably want. So you want to look at stuff like on here, you really want to look at the trust flow, and you can sort all the columns and see which one you want. You want the highest to lowest. Oxford ancestors looks pretty good. The topics are genealogy, so that's pretty good. This one's science and biology. So this has good Majestic backlinks. It's got good referring domains, 565 of them. Ahrefs is good. You can just basically take a look and see what all these columns means. The domain authority is good. So probably this would be a good domain that you would be interested in. And if you want to take a look and open up what it was, you can see most of the time it was exactly what it says it's for. So if it's got all those backlinks, it's looking for people with ancestors in this place in Oxford. And you can see this is what it's been the whole time. We can also open this up a little bit just to see the stats. It's been around 21 years. Great domain, about genealogy, no redirects, and no spam warnings. So if it has no spam warnings, that's something you want to also look at. And then you can also take a look at some of the other things that are down here. If you want to look at the backlinks, you can click this tool and it'll show you all the backlinks. And you've got some good Wikipedia pages. You've got some other things about origins. And these all have like good references for Ahrefs, good anchors, nice ones like Oxford Ancestors website. So this is a pretty good one. And then if you want to look at anchors or page titles, you can do that as well. You can look if it's ever been redirected. It says it's been redirected 50 times. You can figure out where. One of the main things you want to see down here, though, is it indexed by Google? And the answer is yes. It is currently indexed and still indexed by Google. So if you pick up this domain name and find some use for it, whether it's an information site or not, this is a really good one to have because it's already still indexed in Google. So that's a lot of cool stuff with just this one tool, Spamzilla. You can do most of the other things that the other tools can do as well. But it's good to be able to sort through those lists. You can also do custom lists. I was playing around earlier and I just added some of my domains just to test. There's no reason I did it for that. I put manage website, internet alerts, niche websites, anxiety, and reputation repair. Niche websites has something under computers, internet, society and people, recreation and pets. And you can see not much of an SC score. This one has something, so we can take a look and see what that loads up. And you can see it loads up the sites that I used to run on here, which is probably pretty cool. So clean site, redirects, was a park page once. The domain is 18 years old. And it's got a lot of history to it. So basically, you just need to sign up for a free account at a lot of these places and start looking at it. The price on these things is fairly cheap. I'm not asking you to spend money. Watch the videos, watch the demos, understand what you're doing, and then make sure that you're buying domains that actually have some sustainability. And you're not just going out buying random domains because you think they look good or something else. You're buying them for a logical reason. And then depending on what your favorite is, you can decide to sort by anything you want here. You can sort by that, you can sort by the score, and you can decide which names you want. For me, a lot of it has to do with the majestic topics, how many times, backtrack records, like this one looks good to me. It's at GoDaddy, shopping, news media, business, and you can actually go in and click this down and go look and see what all those links are, what the backlinks were, what the site was. This one was buy records, LPs, and CDs. I'm not sure you can do that with it. You could do like birth records or anything to do with marriage licenses or something. But that's what it was. You can look at the individual backlinks and see where they go to. You've got a bunch of them. Domain's 21 years old, once a park page, shopping, entertainment, and clean. And again, you can check and see if it's been dropped. And you can see it was dropped in 2002, picked up in 2002, dropped, and it tells you when it was dropped in 2003 and then not picked up till 2010. And then here we are in 2018, and you can see if it's still indexed. It is. So that's what it's indexed for right now. Best source of all information you're looking for. So it must have changed off of the record store to looking up for history records and things like that. Okay, Sharon is Karen. Let's go back and see how many questions and things we have to look at. Yeah, I figured Oxford University was in England. Alistair, you'd know, and so would Joe. Just gonna have a sip of coffee, and if you guys have any questions, fire away. So, lots of good stuff with how to find the right domain name. And then there's other tools you can look at. I'm going to show you Leads Detective now. I'm going to show you something cool about that one. Again, a cheap one. I don't own any of these tools or any of these sites. I just want to be able to show you something cool. So we're going to do that. Let's go to the application window. This one is now something called Leads Detective. When I signed up, I'm going to make it bigger. But when I signed up, I actually got an error when I went to click my email to verify. But it's actually a good tool. So what it does is it's a huge database of companies all over the world and the US. So what you do is you put in a wide or a narrow search. A wide is with or, so I could do, I guess, Gardner and Toronto, or narrow just and both, so Gardner and Toronto, and that would give me a search. And then what's good is you can pick any sort of category. I can pick a registration company, I can pick where the domain's registered, I can pick whatever I want. I can pick how many domains are registered under that email address. But for this exercise, I picked niche or industry. I picked Gardner, and then it comes up with 248 Gardners. And then you can download this whole list and then take it and throw it back into that the GoDaddy search and see what's was listed by a company that is not owned by them anymore. And then you can go ahead and get good traffic to those. But this allows you to target. So if I want to target a lawyer, I could target a lawyer, if I can spell it right, with or. We'll do that, and I'll just hit click, and it'll go look, and then it'll tell me, well, they only found 4 lawyers, which doesn't make a lot of sense because it's got a huge database. Let's try attorney, and then we'll add something like Boston, see if it finds anything like that. And basically, we'll pull up all kinds of cool stuff for you. We'll change it. Meant to change it to and, but okay. And there you go. See what comes up, and should reset. Let's just try something else. Let's try what else would we like? Roofer. If you're into the roofing business, you could do roofer, and then see how many come up. It's because I did that. Let's go to or, and let's see what comes up now. But you get the idea. There you go. And it usually pulls up hundreds and hundreds of names. I don't know why it's pulling up. Oh, did I put the right thing? I think so. But it usually does work. I mean, I did it with a few others that actually worked. Let's try web design or something. We'll do that. Maybe we'll find something with that. Niche or industry, web designer. See what happens now. Otherwise, this one doesn't seem as useful as I saw it, but it seemed, anyway, it worked better before. I don't know what it's doing. I'll have to play with it a bit more, and then I'll be able to let you guys know about it. And then when you look at the Google search tool on SpyFu, you can see things like the Boston criminal attorney has 400 exact searches. It tells me the KD, which is a keyword difficulty to rank for it, and it tells me the CPC. This is for those of you that are thinking about looking up different things and using different keywords to build niche sites or local domain names. So we'll be able to do that as well. And there's lots of really good tools out there for you guys to look at and for you guys to be able to build. So I'm going to stop sharing this. Now let's go back. Anybody, what are my favorite drop lists? I usually just grab it from, where did I get it? Namejet. That's where I get it from, and then I go through the whole list. I can share that with you as well. Basically, I just go here. Let's just share the window. Nothing exciting to see here. I basically just go here. I do namejet.com pages downloads. I can put that in the thing for you if you like. Let's go back in here. We'll add a banner so that you can actually see this one. And then, okay, add banner. And that's it there. So that's where I go to get my list for download. And then basically I just pick whichever one I did. I actually picked one before the show for Friday just to run the tool on, just to give you some information. I'm also going to invite anybody who wants to come on and ask questions because we don't rehearse this thing. Everything's great. So let's go back. I'll hide this off now, but you just go to Namejet and you're good. I can stop sharing and I'm back. And let's go look at comments or questions. Quite a few people on today, so that's nice to see. Definitely a busy room. If there's anybody that wants to come online, let me just see where I can invite you in this thing. There it is. If somebody wants to come online and ask questions, I will send you the link right now. Just pop in the window if you want your opportunity to come in and ask questions. In the meantime, I'll talk about some of the stuff that I've seen in the questions. I've seen things like the brand bucket stuff. Is that valuable? The answer to that is no, not really. I don't find that extremely valuable. I find that most of the names that I submit don't get accepted, and I find that a lot of the other ones will just sit there forever and not actually sell. A couple of people have told me they've had them sell, and it's good for them, but I haven't seen a lot of them sell. All right, Alistair has a question. Is there any benefit of using foreign language in domain name, example, Italian, not English, for an Italian domain name? Yeah, I mean, there's benefits if you like Spanish, Hola, obviously. There's lots of benefits in using domain names, but I would not get involved in the IDN domain industry, which is the international domain stuff, which includes like accents and things like that, and it converts it into Punycode, which is allows you to register and have those work as well. They were a big thing about 8 to 10 years ago. Some people were piping them up, but they never actually took off. So generally stick to English or stick to your own language without the accents. They don't really help a lot and they don't add a lot of value. All right. Any questions before we move on to something else? Questions, comments? Let's see. Roger, Harlan, Joseph, Zach. Lots of people here. Anybody have any questions? Haven't heard from Joe yet today. I'm just kind of surprised. So that's a lot of stuff to look at for expired domain names. And then you can also do it the usual way that we do it, where we load up the tool, and I'll load this up and share it now so you guys can see it. We basically load up the tool, load up the application window, pop it up, I've already preloaded the domains for Friday for 16. There's 64,855 that are comms without numbers and dashes. One-word stuff, I didn't really take too good a look at it. I did see that miscued was in there. It's not such a horrible one, but I'm not sure there's anything else that's in one word that looks good. Don't see anything else. But maybe you guys will find something. I don't know what a vulgarnist is, so I'll leave that one. We can look for the two-word ones and take a quick peek, see if there's anything that bounces off us there. There's going to be some short ones, so we have two four-letter domain names, EOBU and IRSN. Those are both decent four-letter domain names dropping on Friday. And they both, let's check which one has the most traffic. The most searches, it's IRSN. So if anything, you're going to go after IRSN on Friday, and then we can go through and look at some of the other ones, some of the two-word ones if we want, and see what's here. But there's always something with Abacus or something. But basically just go through and look and see which one has dictionary words and which one doesn't. Adapt assets, nothing really great. Atom Nightmare, don't know what that is, but interesting. One of the things that we're adding to the tool that people asked for yesterday in our pop-up group is the ability to be able to search for names of people. So if there's a name in the list, it'll actually search for it and tell you how many profiles match in LinkedIn. So you have that many possible buyers to sell it to. And it'll also, there'll also be a separate tool in here where you can input a list of names, and it'll go query LinkedIn and tell you that this one has 50, this one has 85, this one has 20, like Adam Dicker has about 6, Carlos Johnson may have about 6,000. I don't know, it really depends, but we'll have that. And then inside here, I'm going to turn it into a marketing suite as well. So it'll have emails set up already for you guys to email people that are interested in the domains that you find, as well as those first name, second name people that you're going to find are in the LinkedIn part of the tool, where it'll send them an automatic email saying, this name is coming available. Saw it matches your name. There's about 8 of you with that name. If you're interested, you can go here to buy it, and then it'll send them to whatever page you input. So we're looking at adding that as well. So that's going to be added. And then the other thing that's going to be added to the tool is there's going to be an import button over here, which will import the daily list of names that I think are good. And as Joe asked, they'll be there the same time every day. So you can just click one button, import, and it'll show all the ones that I'm looking at. And you can decide if you're interested in any of those, or if you want to go back to some of the other ones that are here. That'll be up to you to do. And we're back over here. Let's see, we got some questions now. It makes sense. It makes for, oh yeah, IT does make for some cool domain hacks like Make It or Shake It or whatever you want to do. Don't get Shake It if you have a baby, but you get the idea. Make it, bake it, I don't know, all kinds of good verbs would be great. Play it would be a good musical one. So how beneficial is expiring domains for doing research for domaining? So I'll say it's pretty valuable, but you have to kind of know what you're looking for. So it's more valuable if you're looking for specific niches or specific TLDs or CCTLDs, rather than just going through a whole list. So yeah, it's good. It's got its advantages. Again, what I strongly suggest with any of the tools that I show, I'm not putting affiliate links in here, so I'm not making money on any of them, and I have no relationship with them. But I will say that you guys should watch a video on them and see and make sure it makes sense to you and decide what tools work for you. Definitely the archive.org, using that in a different way with keywords. Any keywords, you can look up like DJs in, I don't know, Richmond Hill in the UK. You can look up groomers or civil lawyers in California or civil lawyers in San Diego. You can get specific. Finding those sites that are already indexed and linked and have traffic and good domain authority and have good articles coming into them, it's huge. That's what you want to look for when you're looking for expired domain names. Always have to be active, and if it really helps if it's already been indexed. So that will help you save a lot of time. Quick tip also and I gave this out yesterday. There's a couple of tips from yesterday. One is that why, what's the matter with groomers, Alistair? Well, you do that, I'll give out the tips. Biggest thing coming out that we talked about in yesterday's meeting is blockchain phones. They're going to be huge. It's the next huge industry coming up. They have hard wallets for crypto built into them, so you won't need your SafePal or your Ledger, and it's really good. So take a look at some of those. I think I posted a link to one of the phone companies that sells 3 different types of phones. You can sign up. You can just look around. You don't actually have to buy anything, but it's good information. What else did I want to give out from yesterday? Oh, if you have a new site and you want to get it indexed, please go ahead and tweet it out. Just say, hey, I launched this new site, and put the link in it. That will allow Google to grab it quickly and index it much faster than if you try to even submit it through Google Webmaster Tools. And then for the other update, if I can stop choking. Oh, by the way, I got a haircut today. We're on lockdown, but somebody came over to the house today and gave us all haircuts. It's a friend of my son's. So the other tool that I'm working on, there's 2. One is going to be allowing you to go to every web page that you Google. And I'll share this with you so I can show you how it's going to work. Let's go with an application window. We'll go with this one, I guess. It's the only thing I have. Let's do this. I'll go to Google. And what you'll see is if I type in something like DJ Los Angeles, give me a whole list of DJs in Los Angeles and all the websites. What this tool will do is go and check every one of the sites that comes up in these listings and tell you if any of these are expired, so you can grab them as well. And you can change your settings here. So if you want to have different search settings, instead of having 10, you can have it show 100 listings. That way it'll check 100 sites at once for any topic that you want. And that will give you a lot more ways to look and see what's going on. Save that. And yes, I approve it. And I'm a robot. And then after that, it'll show you now you've got, if you do something like, I don't know, let's do chiropractor. Chiropractor in Los Angeles. Now you have 100 possible websites that it's going to show you. And if it'll check all of these. It'll check the Chiro guy and see if it's available. And it'll go down, it'll check all of them. And if you decide you want to get more, you can always do this, which is what I used to do with this tool. There's no page thing there. You go right to the bottom and you just go to page 2, and then you get the second 100, and it automatically goes through and checks every one of these sites and gives you a list. It saves as a text file, and it will give you a list of Takahashi Chiropractic, if that's available, the Chiropractic Movement, if that's available, Dr. Stephen Perry, if that's available. These are sites that are indexed and perfect for lead generation, so pretty cool. Okay, let's go back to the front of the window. Oh, I wasn't sharing that. Let me share again. Let me share again so you can see it. Okay, so now I'm definitely sharing, and you set the screen sharing up here, so I changed it to 100. To do that, all you do is you go to search settings, and then instead of being on 10, your slide is probably on 10 or 20 listings, you move it to 100, and just scroll down and hit save, and then it'll show you 100 listings of whatever you want. And again, it'll show you all of them, like Colazo, Los Angeles Back Doctor, and it'll check every one of these pretty much instantly and give you a text list of everything that's available. So it's pretty neat. And as you go through page 2 and page 3, it'll do the same thing to all those other pages and check every one of those links as well. So that's helpful. The other thing that I'm going to be doing in we talked about with the domain templates is I'm building 100 lead gen templates and tools, so you can go in and just add 1, 5, or 100 templates. Pick what you want, if you want them to be plumbers or you want them to be mixed up, and it'll build all those sites for you inside of about 10 minutes. You can import the CSV with all the contact information for, let's say, 100 electricians. It'll give individual sites for each one of those companies based on the column that they're in, as well as their own unique contact information. And it'll also have emails for you to go out and be able to start selling and sell these sites. I think one of the last updates I had was that there's also a domain funnel that will be finished being made today. I'll review it today, and then you guys can actually take a look at it and start to use it to reach out to customers, who get those intros going and start to sell some domains. So that's pretty cool. Anybody have any questions? We are only 40 minutes in. You guys are asking, what tool is that? I don't know which tool it was because I've looked at so many. So if you can be specific which tool it is you're asking about, I can make sure that I show it to you. If you're asking about the domain tool, where I search for the domains and I import the list. That's my own tool. I've only sold about 5 copies, and I'm only going to sell about another 4 or 5 copies. It's $500 US a piece. If you're talking about the plugin to go ahead and get the names from the web pages, that's a plugin I'm working on. It'll be free for you guys. You'll be able to get it. Okay, let's go back to the usual banner. Tell you how to get in the group for those of you that don't know how. And then I'll go back to questions. And if anybody has any questions, fire away. Happy to answer all and any questions today. We've still got 20 minutes, or we can cut early. It's up to you guys. I'll give it a minute or two for questions to come in. And then expired domains, man, that's the key. We can also look at, I can also pull up some of the other topics that you guys asked about, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. Let me see what I can do about that and see if I can't answer some of those questions while we're here. All right, it's just opening up. Art of the name. That one topic thread where I posted, please put in your topics. We got a lot of really good requests. Good interaction. Okay, load up. There you go. So I asked, okay, there's a few other people asking about topics. Oh, I did the expired domains traffic. I thought that was interesting. Somebody posted Takenly on here today that they acquired it. It's an interesting domain name. And then the niche we already talked about. So that was good. And here are the topics for the shows. So let's go through and see if we can answer some of these questions right now. All right, so one of the questions was, we talked about Brand Bucket, BrandPaw, and Squad Help. I really think that creating those logos or getting your names and worrying about them getting accepted is just something that you're going to create worrying about yourself, and it's not going to actually create any value for you. The next question is how to market a small portfolio, perhaps dozens of names. So I think that's a pretty good question. So, and the best way is what people need to do is start with a very small portfolio, like 10 to 50 names, figure out how to market those and how to sell those, and figure out what to go with. So I'll take a look, probably, Stephen, I'll do that on the next show. We can probably take your portfolio or somebody else's and do it live on the show. I also want to talk about the names, the 5 names I was working on for the contest to help you guys sell. My schedule softened up a bit, so this Thursday and Friday I'm going to be working those, gathering contacts and sending out me emails. So you can expect an update on that by early Monday or Tuesday, and we're going to definitely sell some of those names. And then we can take some more. And so as we sell one, we'll take another name from somebody else. We talked about the art of finding valuable drop names, so we just did that, which was finding expired names with LinkedIn traffic and stuff. We can do some portfolio evaluations. I would love to do those online. Again, don't get upset if I go ahead and tell you the truth about your portfolio. Email templates for outbound, what to say and what not to say. So I know I saw a comment from Joe earlier comparing me to somebody else who said that me and this other person, I forget the name, short and sweet. If you send them a long email, they're not going to read it. You want to send them a good eye-catching subject line that has something to do with their domain name, like, let's say, pick a city, Boston Plumber, dash 12 leads a day, and then you go ahead from there. They're gonna, would you like 12 leads a day? So Boston Plumber dash, would you like 12 more leads a day? And that will get their attention. And then you can go into a very short 1 paragraph, 2-3 lines of information, and don't go any deeper because nobody cares about stats like you do. What else do we got? We got also like to know about Afternic, particularly regard to pricing. So again, we talked about this a few times, and I'll say it again, don't put a buy now on a domain name that you think is worth more than about $5,000, because if somebody comes and they just buys it, you've lost all your potential to negotiate. So if there's names that you have in your portfolio that you want to get rid of or drop, or that you really don't like and nobody's been interested in for a while, go ahead and put a buy now on those. But anything that you think has real value, if somebody comes in and, well, would have bought one of my domains for $50,000 or $100,000 instead of going up to $400,000 or $500,000 or plus, I would have left a lot of money on the table. Roger asks a good question. How do you clean up your portfolio? Very good question. So what I would say there is make sure that you put them all in a tool like Watch My Domains or something like that. Organize them as far as that goes. Make sure you look at all the expiry dates. Figure out which ones that you want to keep, which ones you want to drop, and decide that by, have I ever had an offer on this domain, or does it get any traffic, or do I make any money on it? Take a look at those three things first and then decide. The fourth one is, do you want to build a business on it yourself? Or so if you can't find any one of those reasons, then probably it's a good time to trade it or post it up and start to think about it. But I'm always cleaning my portfolio. I'm always improving it. I'll sell 2 names to get one better name or something like that all the time. So that's quite normal. Let's see, what else have we got? Many good requests, somebody said. And then Joe Ward's requested, but email templates, the art of finding valuable drops. We did that. So we got some good ones already in here. And then we talked about expired domain names. So we got a lot of good topics covered. There'll be lots more. Probably next week, we're going to go into something more in depth. Like we're going to try to build a real authority site for a topic. So what that means is we're going to take a niche, we're going to build a really good site for it, and we're going to have it rank #1 for that niche or that product or that service so that we can do that. We're also going to catch up on the sales, see where we are with the emails that went out, and see how many replies we got, and see where we are with negotiations of that. Also, for you guys, if anybody gets an offer or something like that and you're not comfortable doing the negotiations, I'm happy to jump on a call or reply to an email with you guys. Just say that I take care of the name and it's managed by me, and I'm happy to do negotiations for you to get you the most for your money until you listen to a few calls that I do to understand how to not to leave money on the table. So I think that would be cool. All right, now where's Joe? Joe says, thanks for all these. You still have plans on doing a domain name broker course. So I have that. It's a 3-day course that I've already done. I guess I could make it live for you guys to take a look at and go through. I've had one person go through it and they really enjoyed it. It was recorded in California. It was a 3-day course that I did on everything from buying and selling and brokering domain names. So that's no problem. We can do that. Yeah, so I think that's Joseph. I will open that up. Probably next week I'll set it up. I have to upload the videos and they're pretty big, but that's about it. I'll give you guys probably private YouTube links to see them. Joe says she's been putting questions in the Facebook Live. Seems there are 2 Facebook comments. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Welcome, Joe. Anyway, I'm glad you've been watching. Where can I sell domains like regularverb.com? So that's an interesting question. Just because something is appraised by Estabot at 2.4K doesn't mean you're ever going to sell it. One thing about domains is there's no guarantee that anything that you ever buy will be sold. You buy it based on an Estabot or based on something like that. I mean, I don't know who's going to buy a domain called Regular Verb and want to run a business on it. So it's a really tough one, Jim, but something to consider when you're buying names. Again, you have to make sure that you can see a use for a business using this name for its sole purpose of that business, or I wouldn't really think about even buying it. Next comment, Joe. Say a domain has expired and had a page 1 listing on Google. The domain was dropped for 6 months. You buy it. How quickly will it be relisted by Google? Does it matter how long it's been not listed for? Yeah, so that's one of the things. If a domain is old and it's been on for a while, it will get relisted probably within 3 weeks once you built it up. So make sure that you do that and build it up so that you'll see exactly what's going on. And there are ways to speeden up that re-indexing. There's a couple other tools that I can post in the group in the Art of the Name, and you guys can get that. I also will say, like I said before, make sure you tweet out the website and say, hey guys, I just launched this new website. It's about whatever, and check it out. You may like it. Just a casual thing. You don't even care if they go to it. All you care about is that Google scrapes it, because they go through Twitter every day and they add new domains from there. That is the fastest way to get your site indexed. And it's a little hack that people didn't know about. Somebody else says, good return, Adam. Hope you're all well. I am. Happy to be back and happy to see somebody watching us from Periscope. Jim, what else we got? Good. Forex.bond value because there's a few .com domains with these 2 words. Yeah, but I honestly wouldn't suggest, Jim, I know you're at the early stages and trying to get in as many good domains as you can in the beginning. I would tell you to slow down based on the domains that I've seen. go slow and make sure that you spend time asking people. Make friends with other people in the group as well who can help guide you whether something sounds like a good investment or not. Listen, I had 2 or 3 people at the beginning I used to bounce names off of all the time, and they would say, hey, that's good, or hey, that's stupid, and I would rethink it. So a buddy system is always really good. Let's see. Scott, resources or trends, new tech. Yeah. NFT is definitely good, but I would strongly suggest grabbing some NFT domains, but also make sure you get a hold of the blockchain phones, because blockchain phones, blockchain phone numbers, own those domains for your own country codes or wherever you want. Blockchain phones are here to stay. They're just coming out now. And like I said, they have a hard wallet in them. I've already bought a SafePal. A lot of people have already bought a Ledger. But make sure that you want to get in there and get them. I mean, I haven't bought any NFTs myself. I have bought some definancing domains, but I haven't bought any actual NFTs myself, the cool digital art. Okay, how do we calculate, estimate, type, and traffic for a domain name? So one of the best ways to do it is to use that Keywords Everywhere tool. It's a Chrome plugin, and you can just buy it. I'll switch over to my browser and show it to you. For those that haven't seen it, it's also like I think I put $20 in this tool, and it lasts like, I don't know, 3 to 6 months. So here we are, we're back here. So basically, if I type in, I don't know, Chicago plumber, whatever I want, Chicago, if I spell it right, not Chicago Fire, although I do watch that show. It's a good show. Chicago plumber, and then I'll make my window bigger so you can see what's going on. Once it loads, you will see up here, hello. You'll see up here that Keywords Everywhere shows us 2,900 searches per month with an average CPC of $35.43. Obviously, if you own Chicago Plumber, you definitely want that domain for lead generation if they're paying $35 per ad. So this is one of those where you know it's got 2,900 per month. You get a hold of the guys that are buying these ads, like Roto Roofer, excelplumbing.us. God, he's buying ads with a .us. Emergencyplumbing.us. Now, obviously, these are U.S.-wide companies, probably Emergency Plumbing USA too, but you can also get a hold of all these other companies that are listed here, and you can extract all these other companies like Baith. I don't know what that is. Baith Kept Plumbing. I mean, there's tons of them, and there's pages and pages. You can either go through them manually, or I can extract them with another tool and say, here's all the Chicago plumbers, 2,900 exact matches a month at $35.43. That's a fair bit of coin that people are spending to advertise to get the #1 spot. So that's how you do it. And then you can also look up on the side here, you will see related keywords. Just going to open up my screen or shrink it down a little bit so you can see those. And then you've got Emergency Chicago Plumber, which is another good one, 260. First Chicago Plumbing, could be a company. I wouldn't register that one. 24-Hour Plumber Chicago. And then here you've got Chicago Plumbers Union, which would be harder to do, but you get the idea. Best Chicago Plumber, 140. Look at that CPC, $44. And then if you want to click and see one of these, you can just go there and it'll switch it up in Google. And again, it'll show you the exact same match number it showed before with the same CPC, 143 a month, 88, a tougher one, but it also gives you companies that are advertising for these things. Now, would they spend $44 a click on a plumbing ad? I guess they would if they're making a couple hundred. So there you go. So that's how I estimate some of my Chicago plumber for sale, 3K. Joe just put that up. That's a pretty good deal. I don't know where it is, but it's pretty good. So we got that one. We're getting a lot of other questions now. Can we also find good domains? Yes. You can find better domains, good domains there, better domains, Jim, than you're finding currently. But you need to make sure that you're looking for stuff that has a high CPC and has some traffic as well. Somebody else is asking about collection of NFTs. Yeah, that's good. Great domain name. That's going to have value. I mean, it's like an art collection. It's really good. What else we got? We get the same CPC on other extensions. Well, the CPC is based on terms, but you still need to get it indexed. Your CPC, though, is more meant to sell leads or to get leads across. You're obviously not going to make the same, unless you get, say, a .info, a .us, or a .ca, or a .co.uk, and then you rank it, then, yeah, you'll get some pretty good values for it. Let's see. Let's go back. What's the name of the keyword? Oh, it's called Keyword Discovery. Keyword Discovery. And I know Joe and we had 5 people on an impromptu call yesterday, and they all were using it. So I know everybody loves it. keyword search is exact or broad match. It's supposed to be exact match, not broad match. Joe says it's listed on GoDaddy. Joe, do they have a, I guess I could check. I was going to say, do they have a parking page or what do they have now? Let me just check while we're here. Maybe it's going to something. Maybe it's not going to something. But again, this is a better value than chicagoplumbers.com, because when somebody's looking for a plumber, this is the exact case. Oh, it's just a unit registry landing page. Interesting. Let me click that and see where it's a buy now page. It says it's for sale. I didn't get the price quote. It says available for sale. It doesn't show me a price. So there's that. Depends on how do you search. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. Joe answers also keywords everywhere. Closed caps or not. Oh, that brings me to another really good industry that I'm going to give you guys. I just need 1 second to research it. And it's something new that's coming out. It's a new type of website certification. So if you guys want to post some questions, I will go look for it. It's certification, and it's really good. It's for people with special needs. I posted it in the group before. I just got to figure out which one it is. But it's a really good thing to look at. I may have to post it in the group if I can't find it. But I thought it was something like AWSL. If anybody remembers, can you throw it in the group? I'm sure you guys probably have it somewhere, but I don't remember where it is. Anyway, there's a new type of website certification that is for people with special needs, and it's really cool. And websites have to get certified for it, like privacy, and it's a huge bonus. I'm going to just Google it and see, because that's probably easier. Certification for special needs. A website, because that's what it is. This is a really good new topic to find. Yeah, I don't see it. I'll have to put it up in the group later, but it's a really cool thing to check on and be able to see. Price is on GoDaddy.com. So I guess they're selling it for that. They have no idea what to do with it. It's probably a domainer who doesn't understand the value of that domain name. But at 2 or 3K, it's a pretty good domain name for Chicago plumber. And it's easy to sell to companies that really believe in that kind of stuff. Anybody have any other questions? We're almost at 4 o'clock, but I'm going to see if I can do something else. And anybody else, let me just see if I can text somebody directly. I don't think I can. Private chat. Let me see if I can send a note to somebody. Nope. I'm going to invite somebody to come on board, but I can't because there's no private chat here. Joe. Let's see what Joe is. Do you know a way to put an email contact us on a website the same as Contact Form 7 does for WordPress? So basically, you just want an HTML page. Contact Form 7 is the easiest way to do it. Oh, the other one you can use is, let me just pull it up. I don't know why. Let me just see which one it is. Jet, but I forget the name of it. It's a standard plugin with WordPress, and it's a really good one. It'll work with WordPress, no problem. Jetpack, I think it is, or something like that. And okay, if it's not WordPress, then all you can do is put up a basic HTML form. If you're using Quick, a lot of HTML stuff, and you want a really good tool to build sites with, I'm going to give you a new tool to check out. It's a website builder, and it's all HTML. I use it. I'm not suggesting you buy it. I'm just suggesting you look at it. But I think you will like this. So take a look at mobirise.com. I believe they have a Windows and a Mac version, and it is a all-in-one drag-and-drop website builder that is easy to build HTML sites with, and it's pretty simple. Doesn't use WordPress, and you can upload it to FTP and everything else. It's a one-time price, and it's really good. Again, no affiliation. It's just a really good piece of software. Anyway, if you want to look at that, you can build all kinds of different sites, and they've got, I think, 2,500 to 4,000 pre-built templates that you just load in and then just edit the content stuff, and it's pretty good. So that's Mobirise. Anybody have any other questions? We've gone over an hour. I'm hoping you guys have got some good value. There you go, Scott. Man, I knew I could count on you. Thank you very much. WCAG accessibility certification. This is a huge thing. Less than, I guess, maybe 0.1% of all websites are WCAG accessible. So you want to start grabbing names in that area because it's going to be really, really huge. So as Scott said, it's WCAG. Start looking for, if you can get those names, those letters, WCAG, whatever your extension is, that's great. And if you can get anything like WCAG accessibility or anything else, or anything that helps with that area, it'll be a good area to grab, because I'm doing certification for WCAG right now with 3 different customers, and I can tell you it is not cheap. They're paying about $50,000 a piece just to have their website WCAG accessible for special needs. The questions are pouring in. Where were you guys before, man? I was dying out here. Were you going to take a screenshot of tools you were demonstrating earlier when I lost connection? Where can I find that screenshot? Yes, I will repost that for you now. Let me go find it and share that screen, and you can see it. And then I'll continue to take questions while you guys are looking at that. Share screen, application, and here is the tool screen. So you'll see we use the Wayback Machine. Leads Detective is interesting. Domain Extractor is a plugin that allows us to put in all kinds of text, and it'll take out the domains. The GoDaddy Availability Checker you can find. DOM Detailer is another one that I was looking at, which basically you just add them to, and it'll give you a quick idea of which expired domains to grab based on Majestic Moz backlinks or Facebook shares. And then for checking other metrics, Ubersuggest, backlinks, and anchors. Most of these things you can use a free version of till you actually find some value in it. So take a screenshot of this, or I will post it after we're done in the art of the name. Let's go back for other questions. Will this video be up for replay? I'll stop sharing my screen. What's it doing? Why am I here twice? Stop share. There you go. Will it be up for replay? The answer is yes. It will automatically change to a replay right after we're done. Roger says all Rapify are WCAG. I didn't know. I guess that's true, Roger. I didn't know that. So that's interesting. And then somebody says, Tom says, Rapify or Mobirise? So that's an interesting question, because Rapify is, they're both really good. I mean, it really depends what you're comfortable with. So they're both, Rapify is its own platform, mostly HTML stuff. Mobirise is all HTML, but you can easily edit any page separately or individually, whereas Rapify, you probably have to go back into the system to edit them. But I think they're both really good. I use them for different things. So I'm not suggesting you buy both. I'm just suggesting you look at them and make your own decisions on based what you think. Now, next question, back to Scott in the studio. I made a screenshot. I'll send you when this is over. Okay, cool. You guys are doing really well. We have lots of, this thing will be available. I'm going to post another link, or you can post underneath this video what you want to see in the next show. We're not going to spread it as thin. What we're going to do is we're going to do a deep dive. We're going to take somebody's portfolio that wants to volunteer it and review it. And we're also going to have some updates on those 5 names that I took on to sell. And hopefully we have one sold by next week. And that will be fun to follow. Any final questions before we wrap up? And for those of you that still need to get into this group, you go here and hit the apply button. Now let's go back, see if there's any final comments or questions. Did everybody enjoy this hour? I hope so. Joe, let's see. Have you noticed much shift in search volume on keywords over the last year, and how do you think the search tools info will be affected? The stats on Google Keyword Tool are based on researches in the last year. Stats on Google. I honestly don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Google will have an algorithm adjustment. I personally think that for online businesses and for the stuff that we do, it's been excellent. I think that it's only going to improve. I think that everyone is realizing now they need a website. A lot of people are not going to they're going to go work at home from now on. They're not going back to the office. So I think online stuff is going to get bigger and bigger. I've got some lists I want to share with you guys that I've tested out with other people where it's easy to get clients based on where you're located. I asked you a while ago where you were located, so I'm going to walk through a step-by-step picture guide of that. Somebody else. will we be looking? We will be looking at stats from at Homeworld we had for the year. Yeah, it doesn't really. It depends what industry you're in. I mean, certain things are fine. Obviously, travel is going to be skewed, and hotels and things like that. But general things, I mean, you'll know what's skewed. Like movie theaters are going to be down, things like that. But then you may also get a huge rise in certain areas like restaurants and dining and bars as soon as things start to lift restrictions, like I know they did yesterday, the day before in the UK. Do I have tomorrow's winning lotto numbers? 6, 13, 29, 35, 39, and 42. I hope you guys hit the jackpot. Roger, thank you. Scott, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, there's not. Somebody else said selling non-geos. Yeah, that's a good topic. Alistair, your beer's gone. And also, by the way, we have these impromptu rooms just open up whenever I get some extra time or I can't sleep or I'm just have some time. It's great. We had 6 or 7 people in there yesterday, and it was fantastic. It was really, really good to see everybody. Everybody was on camera, and it was just a really nice conversation where you can bombard me with questions, and I actually enjoy it. What else we got here? Rapidly, my niece works for Google, and they've stayed all staff. Yeah, you're not the only one. Salesforce and a lot of other companies are going to be working from home. So obviously, you can use this to your advantage and get work at home domains and pick up all the stuff related to remote work and things like that. Harlan, happy as always. I learned where you were yesterday. Thank you. You're happy. Good. Joe, very good. Richard, Harlan again. Melanie, good to see you. Melanie's one of my good and dear friends. Let's see, Joseph and Jim, all good. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been my ultimate pleasure being here. And I think, like I said, next week, give me a topic you guys want to go deep on in the group, and we're going to go really deep into something so you can really learn a lot. Thanks a lot, and have a great, great evening or day, and I will talk to you next week. Good night.